Hi folks, Dr. P here, and I'm going to talk about creativity in relation to game design, and especially about people who are driven to create. It's something that they have to do. It's not that they want to make money, it's just they have to create. There are people like that, certainly in novelists and probably in games as well. So they're driven to write. They write even without the thought of publishing, or at least not the intention. And an example that comes to mind here is Claire Darcy, who wrote quite a few Georgian romance novels without ever intending to have them published. But finally, especially after the death of Georgette Heyer, somebody persuaded her to submit them. And she, for a few years before her death, became one of the main writers of Georgian romances. And it was not that she ever intended to be, it just happened. What she intended was to write things because she enjoyed it. Lawrence Watt Evans, who writes fantasy and science fiction, wrote from the age of 8, published first when he was 28. He's now much, much older. He makes a living from writing science fiction and fantasy, and that's rare. Someone closely involved with the Science Fiction Writers of America estimated that there were only 50 to 100 people in the United States who made a living from writing science fiction and fantasy. I'd guess that there are even fewer people who make a living from designing tabletop games. Certainly, there are a lot more who do in the case of video games, because many of those people are full-time employed, even though they may not be paid very well. Now, this doesn't mean that people have to be born game designers. I know I designed games from a teenage age, if not possibly younger. But there are people who can come to a creative discipline without apparently having been involved in it before and still end up being very successful. So you don't have to feel that if you haven't been a game designer most of your life going back into your childhood, that you can't design games. It's just that it would be less common, we'll say. Thanks for listening.